Does that mean I'm live? Oh, I see thumbs up. Alex, you're muted, man.
Yep.
There we go.
Just to make
Hello,
sure.
everybody. Welcome to the stream. I see some people saying hello, so I'm guessing that means you can hear me. Alex, I'm guessing they can hear me. There's always that moment of, oh yeah, everyone hasn't seen the haircut. I guess that's the first. When we were doing a streaming prep, it was the first thing that Alex mentioned too was my haircut. So, yep, I am short-haired Brad once again. Alex, you're also still short-haired Alex.
Yeah, that's not going to change anytime soon, I think. Though the medical procedures are getting better. Anyways, hello everyone. Long time no see. Nice to
How
be
you been
here
doing,
once
Alex?
again. Well, great. We're pretty much enjoying very much the current beta and sometimes even playing with the players. The weather is perfect right now here. I love the fall because it's not too hot, it's not yet too cold, and a lot of horror movies are coming out soon. So yeah,
Yeah, I was just in Bulgaria. What, like 3 or 4 weeks ago? It's really pretty in the fall, in the beginning of the fall. Really nice.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I want to
But
apologize first to everyone. I know it's been a while since we've been on camera. It's been a very busy last number of weeks and a month or so. We had Gamescom, we had a lot of stuff going on with the closed beta, so things have been busy. But we're back, and we have a really exciting stream for you today. I think everyone's going to be really pleased to see some live gameplay footage. I don't know if we noticed that in the Dev Diary post, but we are going to be showing the game live today, which I know a lot of you have been waiting to see more of. So that'll be fun. I think we've only done this once or twice before, so that'll be an interesting um, man of valor. We deserve it. Yes, you do deserve it. So that'll be fun. And we're talking about political view. Hello, everybody. We have a lot of new names here, actually. Our names I don't remember, so maybe people are using aliases or some other name. I will wait to see all the old favorites join in. Alex, I'm still sporting my shirt. We're still twins.
yeah, yeah. Well, we have to make a special edition soon. Well, let's not say necessarily soon, but when the game gets released, we have to give you another one. Uh,
Oh yeah, I would love a special edition, the gold edition, right, or whatever we want to call it.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but it's time. We have some time until then, so
Yeah, I'm waiting and giving. I'm seeing the viewer counts going up, so I'm waiting for all of our friends to join in. Yeah, everyone's. I know. It was the first 60 seconds of the stream. We already got please release now, which is great. I'd be curious how many people in chat are actually in the closed beta. So I don't know if how many of you know we do have a private closed beta running right now. We have a number of people in it, I think. So hopefully some of the closed beta fans are hanging around. Um, it's kind of funny though. I wonder because a lot of the closed beta guys and girls they already get to play the game a little bit, so they may be like, I don't need to see Brad and Alex talk. I already know what the whole thing's about.
yeah, they definitely know very well everything about political view already. So, but these guys have been extremely helpful, and especially not just for bug finding, but giving great ideas and helping us balance out the game. I think it's working pretty well for both for us and for them right now. So yeah, keep
Yeah,
it
I
up.
know. There are some people in the closed beta that are already crested the hundreds of hours mark. I think there was one person that's already at like 200 and something hours. I was seeing last week. So it's a small group. We're being a little bit careful about how many people we've let in, but it's been really exciting seeing the feedback. I think actually in this topic today about political view, there is some feedback from the closed beta that's actually impacted even some quality of life functionality. So it's great to get that 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 kind of like iteration loop with that group of fans and use it to improve the project.
I even had to tweak the dev diary itself because it was ready, um, I think, 1 month ago, and now we tweaked it to just to include the new stuff that we added thanks to the beta players.
Yeah, there is. I don't have the link handy. I'm not sure if Jack is in chat and he has it. We had a website that was up for closed beta submission or applications. I don't believe we have another round that we've let in. I think right now we've let in the number we're letting in, but there may be additional rounds down the road. So feel free to put your application in. I know that every once in a while we'll pull from the applicants and add in a number of people for specific tests, because sometimes we'll have tweaked some things or changed some balance and we need that fresh perspective in, so we'll bring in 5 or 10 more players. So Jack, I'm not sure, I think our one of our community team is on here. If they can maybe reach out to Fabian or something and get the link, we can post that in chat. So yeah, we have a lot to talk about today, and we have some live gameplay to show, so I think that's going to be a lot of fun for everybody. It's not going to be, we're not going to really be playing the game in a sense that we're going to go through and like progress in a campaign, but we're going to use the live gameplay to show off the political view features. So, hey, Urban Master, great to see you. Oh, that's all right, home. Maybe reach out to, if you have Telegram, just reach out to Fabian. He probably has it handy. So, first off, today we're talking about political view, and I know many of you are Knights of Honor 1 fans, so you're going to know what this is, and this may be a little bit of a boring brief, but Alex, let's just go ahead and start by explaining what political view is.
Basically, it's the map of the whole world, which is absolutely necessary for Knights of Honor, especially for the second game in the series, because the world is huge and it's just impossible to cover it in the world view. And political view shows the map of it, shows the provinces and kingdoms. There are some additional elements that we'll talk about later that can be also shown on the map. And there are a lot of filters which help the players find whatever they need to quickly learn about the kingdoms, the provinces, the resources, and so on.
Yeah, it's an area of the game that I know was really important for us to iterate on and improve on, because I mean, not that the original Knights of Honor's political view was bad, but I think that there was a lot of opportunities for us to improve the usability and just how seamless you flow between having a circumstance come up while you're playing and using political view to understand that circumstance and formulate decisions in your mind for what you want to do. And I feel like it was an area that we can really put a lot of quick win improvements on, especially when it comes to how the features kind of connect to each other, whether it be rebellion or religion or whatever. Being able to look at that at a map and kind of navigate those different organic moments that are taking place through gameplay.
Yeah, I'm sure that especially when the players are quite fresh in the game, they will spend a lot of time in the political view, just observing the political situation around them, and probably making a lot of the choices they take, especially diplomatic choices, expansion choices, just watching the political view.
By the way, I'm trying to get that link for everybody. I'll see if I get it here in a minute. So 1 second there. Oh, there it is. Hold on. I'm going to post it myself. For those that are interested, this is the beta sign-up link. And yes, I am in the background trolling our own chat. So there you go. That's the beta sign-up link for any of those that want to get involved. Again, I don't think we're letting in any groups right now, but if you are interested in getting involved, you can. Yeah, and I know, like, even when it comes to things like managing where you're going to find goods or trying to figure out how to have a royal marriage, it was, I mean, it's one of those, I mean, it's very UI heavy, and it's one of those things where very small improvements can make a big impact on just how you process the state of the world.
Yeah. Even when you're an experienced player, probably you need less than a minute from the start of the game until reaching out for the political view and checking what's happening around you. Of course, you have a minimap, but it's just not enough to see everything you need at a glance.
Yeah. So, one important thing to clarify, and if those who haven't read it, we have a dev diary that we posted on this topic. It's on our community site, community.knightsofhonor.com. I encourage you to read it if you want to dive a little more into the details and have a chance to dissect the topic in a little more of a static format and kind of dig in. But one of those points that I think was very intriguing, and I'd like to talk about a little bit here, is that idea that there were specific goals that we had with the political view, and one of them was that we wanted to make it useful, but we didn't want players to live there. That may be something when you first read it, it's a little bit counterintuitive. Like, where would you, not want players to experience political view? But maybe we can let's talk about that a little bit. Why was that a goal of ours?
Well, probably if we have to state one reason, it's immersion and spending some relaxing time in the game, because our worldview is very, at least we feel it is, and so far the beta players confirm that our desire is pretty much achieved. It's a very beautiful place you can just spend time, and it's very relaxing and pleasant for the eye. And we wanted that feeling from the game. It's by far not a casual game, but it's far more pleasant to have the bigger part of it on the worldview, watching those miniature towns and castles and armies moving around. And that's why we wanted the players to spend the majority of the game there, and of course, when they need to be able to quickly find what they need on the political view, probably pause the game, especially if they are playing single player, make some quick and effective checks using the filters, but we want the main gameplay to be centered on the worldview.
Yeah, and Yavor, you are never late. The party doesn't start until you get here. So welcome to the stream. It's always great to see you, my friend. Yeah, I feel like it's so. I'm gonna. Kings of Honor is here too. They're both. I was actually commenting about 5 or 10 minutes ago where the regulars were. And I'm glad to see you guys are both here. So it's something that I'm an old school RTS. I'm a fan of all sorts of genres, but I'm an old school RTS fan. And some of my favorite games are games like classic Homeworld or even a game called Supreme Commander, and it was something that especially for subcom players everyone used to talk about, because you'd always zoom out and be in that kind of tactical view with all the circles and squares and shapes and everything, and that was where you played a lot of the game, because that was where you actually could make the best decisions, and you could I feel like it was a fun way to play it. I'm not saying it was bad, but you didn't always get a chance to experience the visceral combat because that's where you lived. And I feel like when we were working on the differences between worldview and political view and where we wanted players to live, it was a conscious decision to try to put as much actionable, usable information in the worldview as possible. Obviously, political view should be used for specific purposes, but we really wanted to streamline that so that you were experiencing the beautiful art and the tapestry and the diorama as you were describing. And that was a very conscious exercise throughout the development process.
Yeah. Actually, it's everyone who is familiar with the development will know that it's quite easier just to make a game that has only political view. We could have always made that, but instead we made so much effort to make it beautiful. Every river, the waves in the worldview, every settlement, so many architectures of different cities, different cultures, and if we did all that just to make the players play on the political view, it would be so pointless.
Yep. Tasmania on tour. So the forums are right there. Community, they're right below Alex's face. Community.knightsofhonor.com. That's where our community hub is. Thank you, Alex. Alex Vanna White. Alex. You can go there. You can read our dev diaries, and there's a whole discussion forum there that you can participate in. So, I feel like we're talking about the things that the idea of staying immersed in the worldview. What are, and we're going to show this in detail. Like I said, we're going to pull up the game and actually show political view through the game experience, but just as a high level, what are some of the things that you would do in political view? Like, what would be a good use for it?
Well, initially, what you want to check is, so to say, if you're experienced, you can pretty much predict future problems from different types. And this can be crucial for survival because prevention is sometimes the best way to solve a problem. For example, you can check which kingdoms have bad relations with you and are likely to attack you. You can make some diplomatic moves or make. If you cannot prevent the war, well, you can make a defensive pact or just prepare defenses. A lot of things you can see which provinces have.
Just Dracier said political view, aka where did the enemy rebels go? So sometimes it's things like that, like, okay, where in the world is that going on?
Yeah, that's a valid example. Yeah, it's rebellion risk is also important to check out to see where you can expect to have problems, strengthen up the garrisons and so on. Find trade partners, find kingdoms that can support you in war, for example. It's just for estimating the current situation and predicting the future.
Yeah, I'd love to see in chat if any of the Knights of Honor 1 players, what kind of things that they use political view for. I know that one big thing that I use it for was whenever I was trying to find marriage alliances. Because, you could obviously go and click on every single freaking kingdom and try to find who has a prince or a princess that's ready for marriage. But using the political view to kind of get an idea and use that to go, okay, maybe this is where I want to invest some time and see if I can get this working. That's definitely a big use of it for me. Now, let's see here. So I know that we talked about this a little bit ago, but I think it's worth kind of talking about it in detail for a second. So like we mentioned before with the closed beta, we are getting feedback from that's helping us improve political view. And there was one kind of specific kind of user experience optimization that came from feedback. Maybe you can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. The players seemed very interested in being able to select some objects directly from political view. And we decided to provide that feature for them. For example, you can directly check towns, armies, battles, and so on from political view, which was previously not available. But it indeed made sense without being too controversial with what we previously talked about worldview. And when we implemented that, it actually turned out that it's a bit inconvenient for some of the players, though, because if you try to click on a province, for example, and there are several armies there, you can hardly click on the province because you always select an army. You have to zoom in a lot to be able to select the province. So we made even one additional option. Now each player can select what type of objects can be selectable in political view. So you can decide now whether you want to select armies, towns, and so on, or just see them and select provinces. And of course, we have the option not to see them at all. Everything is configurable.
Give me 1 second. I was about to... Here, I'm going to do it this way. There we go. For some reason, my taskbar was showing up. Yeah, I think it was a really a good suggestion because it allows you to better control how you interact with political view. And, that's part of that streamlined process. When you're trying to get something done, there may be certain things you want to interact with and certain things that are just there for visual state. It's almost like trying to figure out what you want to click and how you want to use it. So I think that's a really nice optimization there. Calliope. Let me check my notes. Scrolls down to page 75. I feel like Just Dressier is another one that I really agree with. Like checking your own movement of people, so you know kind of where things are going around, and being able to quickly especially we were talking about this I think yesterday when we were doing early prep. It's like sometimes you want one of those layers up so you can see especially when you're managing a very large kingdom, where things are and how things are going. Because when you're small, you're like 3 or 4 provinces, it's a little bit easier to kind of make decisions and move around just in worldview. But when you get to be larger, you kind of use that to jump around for sure.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. The larger your kingdom is, the more you need to use political view to make to be able to see the bigger picture. If you have just 1 or 2 provinces and 3 or 5 or something like this number of neighbors, pretty much you can see easily everything without using political view. But once you have bigger kingdom, several wars going on, a lot of armies, then you need it more.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think people want to see it. I'm guessing people would. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think we should show some live gameplay? Is that something that would make the audience happy? For those that are always, for what is it? I think for quite a while, I always get bugged about when are you going to show live gameplay? Let's see live gameplay. Today we're going to show live gameplay. I hope that's exciting for people. Yes, I see yes with an exclamation point. It's why we are here. Man of Valor, I thought it was just for Alex and I's exciting personality and beautiful face, but I see. You just want to see the game. It's fine.
Somewhat beautiful. Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into the game here. I have producer Nadine in the background that will swap us to live gameplay. And once I see it's up here, it is. All right, so we're going to, yeah, we would like to see a sneak piece for the release date. Well, you see, GADN Q3. I don't know how you pronounce your name. But yeah, we're not going to sneak peek that. So we're here in the game now. I'm moving around. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right to political view. We're playing a Kingdom of Actually, do you want to set up this game a little bit, Alex, real quick?
Well, this is a bit of a strange game because it's with Watium, which is actually a kingdom which is formed by a province. This is a special start you can have in Knights of Honor 2. And this is the province which actually is Rome. It's Rome's province, and it has the papacy. And when the game started, the papacy was restored, so to say, and one province was lost, but the game continued from there on. And currently, it's a pretty peaceful kingdom. Not a lot of problems with neighbors, but a lot of problems with cultural influence because the papacy is our neighbor. And
yeah, I noticed that when I jumped in here is that you're itty bitty, but you are you're making money, you're built up, you got a lot going on. So I haven't had a chance. I was gonna try to investigate his. It's not gonna crash. Come on. I'm not gonna say who Black Sea Games is, but I know who that is. It's not gonna crash. I believe. So yeah, I was planning to poke around your game a little bit and see if I could figure out kind of what your strategy was here. But you've definitely built up quite a bit of infrastructure, and you got some revenue coming in, so that's exciting. But we're not here to bring the crash. Come on, Kings of Honor. All right, so this is all about political view. I'm going to go ahead and jump into political view now. So here we are in political view. You can see the whole world here. Everyone always wants to know how big it is, so that's exactly how big it is. It is substantially larger than the original Knights of Honor. And we are focused down here. So I think what we're going to do is kind of walk, and I have it paused because it's easier to kind of navigate everything while it's paused. We're going to walk through each of the different political view options one by one, and then we can use that to kind of explain how they all work. So first off, let's start with the first one, which is the kingdoms. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the legend and leave it hotkeyed in here so that we can wait. Hold on. Hold on.
Just right click it to freeze the tooltip, and that's enough.
There it goes.
Yep.
All right. So make sure it's working. There it is. All right. So the first one here is just basically the kingdoms view. So this shows all the names of the kingdoms for the most part.
Yeah, these are pretty much just the kingdoms. With... yeah, Bulgaria is not very lucky at this game. In this game, Well, here you can see the kingdoms and the provinces with different color coding, so you can easily distinguish them. And also, what you can see is vassalage. For example, if we look at Brittany or Flanders, we can see that they're also Lorraine. They're vassals of France right now, so that's why they have stripes.
Yep.
And this is probably the
The
base.
basic view. I mean, this is how you get kind of the layout of
It's
the
pretty
world. It's
basic.
not too much details. Let's go and
Yeah.
go on to the next one. The next one's going to be stances.
world at your
Now, this giant
fingertips.
UI here, I'm going to actually close it so you can see the actual map. But basically, the way this works, you can use this to kind of understand what the different options are, or the different feedback is in the world. So it's kind of nice. And like we were talking about, you can sticky this or you can close it so it allows you to see it. And whatever kingdom you click on is going to show you their stances. So if I go to France, you can see what stances France has with everybody, or Germany, or, you know, good old Bulgaria. Gotta love good old Bulgaria.
Yep. This is probably the most important from all filters. It indicates stances, and wars are also included. So you can quickly see who's fighting
France stance.
who are
Right, France
allies.
stance.
You can also see some additional things like non-aggressions. Those purple or more like pink stripes are marriages. So currently we have a marriage with royal marriage with France. That's why when you select France, we have stripes on our kingdom. And also they're yellow, which means that we have a trade agreement.
Yep.
There are some priorities. For example, if we were allies, you would not see them as yellow, but there will be green because alliances trump lesser stances like trade agreements. It's a bit complex political view, but it brings a lot of information, and once the players get used to it, it's extremely useful to see everybody's stances.
You can see here when I click on the stances, you can see Genoa is green.
Yeah, I think that we have
The non-aggression pact.
non-aggression with them. Yeah, that's why they're
Yep.
green.
So I actually find this one's really useful, especially when you're trying to understand like what situations are going to happen if you attack somebody. So I often use this view when I'm planning a war, because you don't want to just blindly attack someone and all of a sudden get into a situation that you weren't expecting. So that really helps you kind of figure out exactly what the lay of the land is going to be.
Yeah, I use the word to find opportunities. If I see one of my neighbors that I dislike, which has a few wars or no defensive pacts and so on, I'm likely to attack that exact neighbor. So it's good
Absolutely.
for planning.
So the next one is relations. Kind of similar but different. I'll let you go ahead and explain that.
This one is pretty basic. It just shows the relations value between kingdoms, and people might say that stances can trump this one, but it's not exactly true, because you might sometimes be in war with someone that is not so unfriendly to your kingdom, especially if you are just supporting someone in that war. Also, sometimes you have pacts or trade agreements with the kingdom, but actually things changed and they now hate you and they might attack you. So it's pretty useful to also check relations from time to time and see how the things are going with your neighbors, especially.
Yep. We'll move on to what I was talking about before, which is marriage. This one kind of shows you which kingdoms have different marriage opportunities available. This is kind of a general state, so you don't have to really click on anybody to see it change. It's the whole map is displayed. So as you can see here, France and us have royal ties together. So we have a marriage alignment or agreement between them. So that's where you see the yellow. But then you can see blue or pink, or even blue and pink together, where there's available princes or princesses that you could marry or propose marriage to. And again, this is another. Extra PCs. Oh, this is where you have like different attempts at okay, well, who should I become friends with, or who should I get to know in order to maybe set up a royal marriage alliance. So it allows you to kind of navigate those kind of early diplomatic steps, because I mean, sometimes this can't just, you're not going to be able to just fire off a marriage proposal. You have to actually build up some diplomatic relationship first. So it helps you to know who you send a diplomat to.
Yeah. If you're a bigger kingdom and have, for example, a lot of gold or army which you can support that kingdom, they very often send you a counter offer for the marriage. But usually you have to build it up. Yeah, sending diplomats, improving relations, and so on to be able to set up a marriage. But this is where you start.
Absolutely. Let's go on to the next one. So stability. This is what I think one of the people in chat was talking about, trying to figure out where the rebels are coming from.
Yeah, exactly. You can also see which provinces are currently occupied by rebels, and in which provinces there is already a rebel presence. This is done by the stripes we have on the provinces. And right now our kingdoms...
Game for a little bit. We're gonna get one in our kingdom pretty quick, actually.
Yeah, right now the things are pretty stable because we just captured the previous rebel, and when you defeat a rebellion, there is temporary of stability. That's why things look okay right now. But if you unpause, I know that it will go not so good in a matter of some minutes or half an hour.
This is also a really interesting one to plan for war as well, because if someone has rebellions going on, you have to imagine that their military is going to be tied up dealing with that. So it helps you kind of make some of those decisions there too.
Yeah, definitely. Also, you can do some stuff with rebels, like if you have spy, you can make them your loyalists, and
oh, right. So have plans for those espionage actions based on kind of what your strategy is.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's go to the next one, trade zones.
Now, this is where you can see why why Latium is so rich. We have Venice, which is a trade center, and it's a trade center which is practically the main trade center for Central Europe, and not only. And that's why we have such big income with such small kingdom. Actually, conquering Venice was one of my main goals when starting this game, and it's definitely paid off. So here we see each trade center. Sorry, yeah.
Did you angle to become a trade center in this map, or this run, or did you start as a trade center?
No, I didn't start with one. We actually forbid player having trade center initially in the game, especially in the multiplayer. That's especially important because it pretty much will bring a lot of imbalance in the game if we do it. And there is also some randomness. For example, Venice is almost always trade center in the beginning of the game, but not absolutely always. So, yeah. I conquered it eventually.
Yeah,
The
that
bigger,
also can be a good another one of those things to plan for war, or even with if you're trying to figure out where to like find good trade partners. If you see someone that has a trade center, that probably means they have a lot of revenue coming in, and that may be something you can take advantage of. Like, okay, I want to try to get a trade agreement with this person since they're far away, or maybe I want to try to work their way and take their trade center from them.
yeah. And once you have a trade center, you can also see to where does it spread, and you know that if you improve your relations with bordering kingdoms, you can actually increase your influence of the trade center, and it will spread further. So the bigger the zone is, the bigger the profit.
Yep. So let's move on to the next one. Down here we have religion.
At your fingertips.
Yeah, this one is pretty simple. It's pretty much indicates religions of each kingdom and province. The stripes, the smaller stripes, show the province religion,
I
and
love Catholic excommunicated.
yeah, 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 that's true. England and France are currently excommunicated
Mm.
in this game, but they can repent. They can be accepted back in the Catholic world. We can see some provinces having mixed religion. For example, you can see Zeta here next to Serbia. It's an Orthodox kingdom, but the religion of the province is actually Muslim. I think that's Sunni Islam. And the green one is pagan. So we have very little paganism, especially in the later periods, but it can spread quickly.
Yeah, and then
Uh,
Timo asked, "Does religion have impact on disability in a region?" I think there's definitely an aspect of planning, even when it comes to diplomacy or war. You know, if you see that kind of religious tension inside of a kingdom, that may make that province a little less stable or a little less happy than other places, and so that can be part of your planning process. Where you're like, okay, I know that these may be a little bit easier to get into.
yeah, it's definitely impactful, and if you have a lot of provinces with local tension, it becomes kingdom tension. So yeah, it's not something that you want to keep for longer periods in your kingdom. You have to play with wisely with clerics and try to convert the religion
Yep.
of the provinces.
So let's go to cultures next.
Culture has a similar effect as religion. If you have a province with different culture from your kingdom's culture, there is some tension. It's a bit less than the one coming from religion, and there is also some. Well, if you overtake a province which has your culture or similar culture, it will be easier for you to gain their loyalty eventually, and there will be lesser tension. Pretty much it's also interesting one for suppressing and expecting rebellions, and also for planning your expansion.
Yeah. Yeah, and it also helped. Yeah, I think there's a it's part of that multi-layered dynamic of trying to figure out where you want to where you expand or where you become friends with, and kind of how those things all stack to the different features like diplomacy and religion and culture. They all kind of intertwine together. So there's kind of a decision matrix that you're making when you're planning what your safe move's going to be or what your more difficult move's going to be. Like if you go take a place that's a very different culture, that may take a little longer to or more effort to stabilize or really deal with as opposed to something that's closer to you.
Yeah, yeah, but there is also the opposite effect if you attack kingdoms with similar religion or culture. Sometimes your clergy will not approve. There will be some repercussions. So, yeah.
Yep. Let me go to loyalty.
Okay. Yeah, this is Rome's loyalty. It's pretty good because they not only have loyalty in their single province kingdom, but they also have loyalty in ours kingdom. Here we can see when you select a kingdom, you see in purple the
Here, I'll go back
provinces
to
that
Yep.
are loyal to the kingdom. The green provinces are not part of the kingdom but loyal to it, and the red provinces are part of the kingdom but not loyal to it. So red is problematic here, and green means opportunity. If you overtake a province which is loyal to you, there is no disorder, and the people there just greet you with open arms, so to say. And
Yeah, so that's definitely another expansion planning element where you're like, okay, this place would be a much easier conquest because they're more loyal to the kingdom that they're from. And same thing, if you're looking at like say France, you can expect that this may be where they're going next. So you get an idea of where their plans may go through. So definitely helps
yeah,
us more of that expansion planning and kind of also knowing, if you're like kind of looking through the world, what are places that may end up having a war start, because there's definitely some opportunities there and someone may take advantage of it. So it helps you kind of understand how the world may evolve over time.
Yeah, it also has some additional use. For example, if you're spawning a rebellion and you spawn
Yeah,
it
yeah.
in such province, there is high chance that it's a rebellion of your loyalists. And also, you can try to diplomatically request that province from the kingdom that owns it, because, well, your people live there, people loyal to your kingdom. So sometimes they're eager to sell you the province or request something in exchange, but after all, give it to you.
Yep.
The world at your feet.
So the next one is province features. This really lays out to the province development aspect, because this kind of tells you what kind of resources are available. And what's nice about this one is you actually can use it for planning, not just clicking on a province and understanding what could be there. So if you look at this on the right, you're going to see the ones that are highlighted are ones that your kingdom already has available to it, and it lets you kind of know where those resources may be, and obviously you can click on them to see. But like, say you need to get let's do flax fields, right? Say you need flax fields for what you're trying to produce or some good you're trying to get. You can use this to understand where it's from, and that can be used for a couple different things. It could be for a trade target. Okay, I need to get horses and I don't have any. These are the kingdoms that have horses, and you can flip back and forth between, okay, well, what is my stances with these kingdoms? Okay, they're neutral, but I'm trying to get horses. So you can kind of use that to plan some of your diplomatic aspects. It also comes down. Yeah, I know, no goats, right? It also comes down to planning conquest. If you want to get them yourself and decide, I'm going to go take that province and either develop it, or if it's already developed, you can take advantage of it. That's a big part of it here. So I find this super helpful, especially when I'm trying to play the goods game, or if I need a certain like horses. I want to build cavalry and I don't have it yet. It allows you to kind of do those plans early.
Yeah. You nailed it. I have nothing to add. This is probably if you're struggling for kingdom advantage victory, um, especially if you play a race against time or a multiplayer game. This is probably the most important political view filter to show you where you have to advance to win the game.
Yeah, that's a really important point to make. There are certain, we've talked about this in our multiplayer dev diary back a number of months ago, but there are some some multiplayer modes that have very specific goals. And if you're playing that type of goal, then you really need to push those resources early on. And this helps you kind of make that early strategy for where you're going to expand or where you're going to try to reach for. Usually in that situation, it's expanding, because you're not going to get, there's going to be too much pressure coming in from the trade side. And it also kind of connects to the goods. Goods work very similar to the way that the province features do. So you can see where goods are coming from. Though goods are also more about ones being developed. So it's like these are things that are actually being accessed because someone's actually creating it. So it's these are usually you have to have a set of buildings or a combination of resources to be able to produce these goods. Some of them require multiple buildings or multiple resources that a kingdom needs to take in, and then they can leverage them to get the good that they want. So you'll see here in Alex's game, he's actually trading. What's nice about this, you can see the difference between the goods that you're producing yourself, which are the ones that are just normal iconed, and the goods that you're trading for, and that's where the little gold icon comes in. So it helps with planning, right? You'll see probably some of these goods, there are probably a couple of them that aren't even being built yet because they're a little bit late game. Actually, you've been in this game for a little while, so you probably have a lot of the more advanced ones. But when you first start out in a match, you'll notice some of them, there's just no one making them yet, because it takes a little while to build up the province infrastructure to be able to build some of the higher tier goods. But it definitely. Sorry, go ahead.
This is still a middle game, so some of the more advanced goods are not produced. But as you can see, this is extremely useful when you need to import something. Especially, I usually use it in kingdom mode, not in province mode. You can switch from the two big
It's all
circular.
sorts of debates, Mike. There's no good or bad victory. There's different types. You don't always have to take over the world.
Yeah. So this can also be used as the previous one for expansion, but I particularly use it to get trade partners, to see where can I import some very major things like here I need charcoal to produce iron, which I need for my army. And also I have imported ropes because shipbuilding is important, and they also bought my archers and siege equipment. So these are some major goods that I needed, and this political view is pretty much the place you can see where you can get them.
Yeah, another important aspect of this is that some of these goods have different benefits to them. Like, I mean, it's an obvious one, right? If you have trained camels, then that allows you to build units that use trained camels. So there's same with war horses; those are more advanced units. So if you see a kingdom that has war horses, then okay, I need to be aware of that because um, that's someone that may have a really powerful set of units, or may have different types of um, I don't understand how the devs think that these armies can function properly without goat cheese. You know, there are people in this in chat that are listening to you right now, Kings of Honor. I'm not gonna say whether it's gonna make it into the first version or maybe a patch or whatever, but yeah, I don't disagree about goat cheese.
So
Armies
far,
need
the cheese it does not provide any benefits to the army. Sorry to disappoint you.
so.
Yeah.
Goat.
Actually,
We have.
Political
I
view.
think we could like add another row and add a goat. You know, expand the. But
we
anyways, that's how goods work. We'll move on from.
have two additional slots down there. You can see them. So we can add two more resources, two more goods. It's okay.
This one is buildings, and these are really about how your provinces are developed, and it works. All three of these work very similar. So you can click on the ones and see where they're built. You can click on ones to see where they could be built. And it helps you understand. And again, this is also very important for understanding certain kingdoms, how they're positioning themselves, or how they may be building themselves out, because you can kind of use this to inspect the state of the world and get a little bit of intelligence on, okay, this is kind of what people are doing. And that can be useful when it comes to allies or people who are ramping up or may have a strong military. It can be really, really useful for figuring that out if you want to really dive into the details.
Yeah. This one is very useful for internal usage for your kingdom. If you have a very large kingdom, for example, 20 or 30
The
provinces,
world
and
at
you
your
want to make a
fingertips.
certain upgrade or see where you can build your powerful units, you can just use this political view and see which are your provinces with royal armory,
Yep.
and yeah,
So
recruit
I'm gonna be
there and so on.
Alex, we're almost out of time here, and I want to get to questions. So we
Okay.
have these buttons here. We talked about these during the diary portion of the stream, but I want to call them out really quick. So these are toggles that allow you to turn on. I'm going to turn this on real quick. You can see this shows you where all of the center of the provinces are. So it makes you where the town is for each one. And this little checkbox here allows you to decide whether you want to. This is the thing we were talking about during the stream. It changes whether you can interact with them or not. So, for example, if I turn on this one here, you'll see. Actually, I don't think this one has. Well, it does. So when I have this button clicked, it allows me to interact with those elements. So now I can actually click on those things. If I turn all these off, then I'm not able to click on these things. So again, it's just like, especially if there's a lot of stuff going on, it allows you to decide what you interact with or what you don't, and gives you a little bit of that UX control when you're going through and managing the map. And we have different ones. We have ones for battle indicators, ones for armies, and then ones for army and battle nameplates. So again, it just allows you a little more of that granular control on how you see and interact with everything.
Yep. Just to add one thing, you can use all those political view filters to set them on your minimap as default minimap
The world
mode.
at
Yeah,
your
it's also
fingertips.
important to call out. There's
Yeah.
when you're in the actual game world, the mini map down here has these same types of functionalities. So there's a lot that you can do down here to kind of change and control the mini maps controls too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, let me go through some questions here really quick, and we can leave the game up, I guess, if you want, or we'll just answer the questions as we go. So there were two questions from the dev diary that I wanted to grab real quick, and I'll try to grab with the 10 minutes we have. There's a whole bunch of questions that were asked. I want to try to get through some of them. The first one was from Ivory Knight, who I know is in chat, so that's awesome. The first one is, will unit availability map mode be introduced as well?
We have considered that suggestion. we support technology that allows the players to. Initially, we had more than 12 political views, and the players could select which of those to be among the hotkeys, the 12 quit buttons there. Right now, we don't support it, but it's something that we can add up in the future rather easily.
Yeah, I think some of those things are also going to come down to like when we start doing live support and figuring out how we want to gauge what kind of requests people have and how they can be added in kind of our post launch support. So if something is not there right when we go live, that doesn't necessarily mean that maybe something we add later on based on what people ask for.
Yeah.
The other question, I think this also is in the during the stream itself. It was from Croatian Knight asks, I love the new map modes. I especially like loyalty map and the option to see culture on the map. I wonder, can culture 2 be partially like loyalty? So they do kind of intertwine, but they're not quite the same thing. Maybe you can really quickly just respond to what the difference is between culture and loyalty.
There is a difference. There are similarities. Let's say that the culture is the long-term thing. Loyalty can change more quickly, so to say, and to change the culture of a province, you need a lot of time. You cannot simply do it. So yeah, culture is the more permanent thing.
Yep. Let me. So if you have questions, go ahead and throw them in chat. I'm going to start grabbing some that took place during the stream. So the first one, I think we've answered this in a previous stream, but I'll go ahead and answer this here. So Gadin Q3A asks, are we going to be able to play as papacy and have more control over other kingdoms? So we talked about this in a previous stream. We actually don't allow. It's one of the only kingdoms that you can't directly control as a papacy. The reason why is because the mechanics or the papacy are very specific and individualized, and the amount of effort it would take to make all of that work for just one kingdom didn't make any sense. There may be some time down the road where we expand some of that functionality and explore ideas like a papacy focused game because it's just different, but it's a lot of work for a one kingdom effort. So we really focus our time on things that all kingdoms or most kingdoms can take advantage of. John H3X asks, are you or will you be able to set your minimap to display different political views? So I believe you can actually adjust the minimap's state, can't you not?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mentioned. You just have to control left click one of the stances there. You can also zoom it in if you'd like. I usually play on zoomed in map on stances view because it's most important to quickly see enemy territories.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of control that you get from the minimap if you want to, which can be really useful, especially if you want to be looking at be looking at a particular state. All right, next question. Let's see. Oh, I hope the answer to this is we're going to try. Bait Might asks, hello guys, I have some questions about the game. In KOH, there was a martial ability to fortify a camp, which was pretty broken. Will that be balanced some way? I think your plan is to break it completely, right, Alex? Like, definitely don't balance it.
We pretty much removed fortifying a camp long ago in the game. So right now, it was pretty kind of boring action, and it was too stationary gameplay. So we just figured out that we have to remove it. It's not something difficult to balance out. Rebels now have camps, but we preferred for the players and the kingdoms not to have fortified camps.
Yeah, and the camps work a little bit differently than they did. So the functionality there is it's going to be a little bit different than you. I hated this ability and overused the hell out of it.
Yeah,
Cartacha. Yeah, I mean it's there's. I think when you actually get a chance to play the game, you're going to find that though there's a lot of similarities in kind of the style and approach, there's a lot that's really different from Knights of Honor 1, and I think in a good way. It's still Knights of Honor, but there's a lot of new things that you're going to have to get used to. New ways that the world works, that fighting works, that even troop development and growth works. We have a lot of dev diaries and topics on that. I'm not going to go into. I know there's been some questions about recruiting army limits and whatnot. I think we did an entire dev diary on that, and there's a stream live as well. So there's quite a bit there that you can dive into. Let's see. This is an easy one. So Johnny Hex asks, "Will you be able to give counter offers when the AI sends you an agreement?" Yes. There are different opportunities for you to interact back and forth in the diplomacy.
Tradition can be adopted.
Oh, I got a tradition.
This one is a bit automated.
My lord.
You can actually, if you decline an offer, the AI can offer you some way to sweeten that offer. There is not exactly the trade system of in diplomacy. I will give you this, you will give me that. We just didn't want to do that. It didn't feel well for the game.
Yeah.
That bargaining stuff, we intentionally didn't include it.
Let's see. People are asking about collector's editions. We can't really talk about that. Yavor is asking about the music. Have you guys come to a decision on how we can support Robin and Yannick and buy the soundtrack of this awesome game? Yeah, there's going to be opportunities for you to get the soundtrack. We're not going to talk specifics yet, but Robin and Yannick's work is quite exciting. I think it's really awesome music. It was a blast recording it in Sofia in Prague. We got some really awesome live instrumentalists for everything, and I think you're going to really enjoy that kind of organic live music feel. So yeah, definitely there'll be opposite music. I saw a number of music questions out there, so for sure. People asking about. Sorry, go ahead.
Especially the timpani guy was pretty good.
Okay, no need to do that. This is an easy one too. Yatimo 584 or Yotimo, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, asks, "Are vassals a possibility?"
Oh yeah, definitely. Vassals are essential part of the game. We saw them here earlier on the political view, and they provide you fame. They support you more in wars.
I think that's since
Yeah, you can select France instances, and we'll see some vassals. They provide you gold. They support you for Emperor of the World and many other things.
Iamorph or M4, sorry. Yeah, so you'll definitely see. Let's see if I can find another place that has some vassals going on. Germany has quite a few of them, actually. Yep. Next question. Oh, there's another Yotimo 584, and this is we can ask this one real quick. Is there a limit to how many men you can recruit for the army? Armies are kind of complicated, so it's not as simple as that. We have a whole dev diary that you can go peek into it. But basically, there's two elements to an army. There is the soldiers, like the actual units that are in the army, and there's also the army's kind of manpower or how many actual soldiers are in it. And there is a number of slots. There's a limit to the number of slots that are in the army, and that's based on a couple different factors. It can be based on if it's a marshal or not, if it's a king or not. There's a couple different elements that go into determining how many slots you have available. And then there's also how much manpower each of those different slots provide. And that also is changed by a number of things. It can be changed by kingdom traditions, by the skills of the marshal, by where the army was built, by the equipment the army has. So it's not... there's a lot in it. I think we had a whole dev diary where we kind of dived into some of that. But there's quite a bit of elements that go into determining how big and powerful that army is, and we designed it on purpose that way, so you have different ways to influence and grow your military strength over time. So hopefully you'll enjoy all the different complexities there. It's a fun set of layers and gives you some interesting decisions. Alex, I think that pretty much does her. We're right at the end of the time slot here. It's been fun chatting with you again. It has been too long.
Yeah, thank you. I was starting to miss it a lot as well. We should make the next one sooner, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think there's we obviously there's TwitchCon coming up this weekend. But aside from that, I think we're actually clear of of conference season for a little while. So hopefully here coming up in November, we'll be able to visit with you guys again. Hopefully we should be continuing to show gameplay. We're at the point now where you'll probably start seeing gameplay on every stream, and we'll show some different things. So expect and wait to see that next time around. Everyone, thank you so much for joining the stream. Hope you had a good time, learned some stuff, had some fun hanging out with us. Maybe a little bit less goats than normal, but that's okay. It's a breath of fresh air. We can't have goats every time. And Alex, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for hosting.
Alrighty, I'll see you guys later. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
See you guys.